Are you struggling to recruit top producing real estate agents into your real estate brokerage team or revenue share organization at a cloud-based brokerage? I want to be sharing with you guys today the top recruiting strategy that's been working for some of the top agent attractors in the entire industry in this YouTube video. My name is Prab Manga, and on this YouTube channel, we like to share the top recruiting strategies and agent attraction strategies that are working in 2025 and beyond for some of the biggest agent attractors. And these strategies in particular are very, very unique and contrarian, right? They actually solve the agent attraction problem once and for all. When I talk about once and for all, I truly mean once and for all, economically and statistically, because that is really the only way to win in business. You see, agent attraction is quite expensive, and the last thing you want to have is an agent attraction system that bleeds cash every single month. So when I say you solve it once and for all, what you're really doing is you're going to be solving for a system that allows you to get cash on cash realization in a very short period of time, so you never lose a single dollar on the acquisition of new agents ever again. Furthermore, as a result of having this excess gross profit in your agent attraction machine, you can actually afford to bring in A players. And I don't want to really go on a spiel about how A players and how beneficial they can be, but really one A player is worth at least 10 B or C players. And that's really all it takes for you as a brokerage, as a revenue share leader, as a team leader, and to win, right? So you really want to make sure you have A players. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is how to recruit A players and do so in a way where you don't lose money on the acquisition of these rock stars. My goal is simple today. I want to make sure I share with you the simple strategy that you can use by the end of this video, where you can go ahead and start setting up a recruiting system that has the A players coming in, that doesn't allow you to lose money, and that is extremely scalable in just a few short minutes. So folks, take out your notepads and we'll get right into the video. So I want to really start off with the recruiting problem, because the recruiting industry and attraction industry, there's a lot of faults in there. And one of the first ones here on my notes is that a lot of brokers and team leaders and even people that are trying to recruit their downline, the first thing I want to talk about is understanding the recruitment problem. So if you're trying to recruit and attract real estate agents, there are a couple of issues you're going to be facing. So the first one is you're going to be competing with other brokerages or other companies and their offers and their perks. So this is really where you cannot be a commodity. The second issue you'll likely face is you're going to be struggling with agents that fit your culture. And whenever you're growing a team or any company or any organization for that matter, culture is paramount, right? A lot of times one bad apple can poison everything else. And because this is a group environment where the revenue of the group is contingent upon every single member of the group performing, the last thing you want is to have a bad culture, because you want to have an uplifting culture. So a lot of people overlook this, but this can really be a make or break for a lot of companies. The third issue and challenge that I think that is very, very relatable is agents view recruitment pitches as just sales pitches, and they're sick and tired of it. There's a lot of resistance. I'm a marketer by trade, and a lot of times we take a look at market sophistication level. So back in the day, there was a legendary marketer called Eugene Schwartz, and he talked about market sophistication. And the first one is first to market, and there's second to market, third to market. Right now, agents have heard every pitch under the sun. I mean, just think about it this way, right? Let's just say there's 1 million real estate agents in the United States. I think that ballpark, right? I mean, a little bit more as well, but anyways, just for example, 1 million, right? All those 1 million agents have their number and email listed online. So think about it. There's thousands of independent real estate brokerages, and then on top of that as well, there's real estate team leaders, and on top of that as well, there's also cloud-based downline brokerages that are trying to grow as well. And those people have even more bodies. I mean, EXP Realty has 80,000 agents. Now, not every single one of those agents does a revenue share, but there's over 10,000 people that do downline recruiting and attracting, and that number is growing. Same thing with Real Brokerage. And now there's other brokerages with downline recruiting models popping up too. So what I want to really make clear here is that you are facing a lot of competition. In fact, you're probably facing the most amount of competition out there. I mean, look, if it's an MLM style brokerage, right, whether you're part of one or whether you're not, I mean, look, most MLMs operate in the B2C space. This is in the B2B space, it's an even smaller market. So, the market's sophisticated, more sophisticated than ever, and it's very, very competitive. And if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you are going to be left behind, my friend. The next issue I want to talk about is how a lot of people that are trying to recruit agents, they'll use a lot of companies out there, the people that will go ahead and be oh, we'll give you a recruiting appointment. And those never really work, because all those people are really doing is they're just outsourcing a broken system already, and they're just chasing people, right? They're just cold calling, cold texting. I think right now as well, there's like actually a new TCPA, Telephone Consumer Protection Act disclosure that went out that now says you are not allowed to do that, right? There's actually a lot of things, it's a lot of gray area, and it's not a fun place to be in, because there's hundreds of dollars for each violation, and that could actually put you into bankruptcy if you do it wrong, right? So it's not a fun place to be in. So that's another issue, right? Like, not only is it, pretty much non-compliant, but the other issue is that, like, it is of course expensive, but you're not bringing the right people, if any people at all. Another thing I want to talk about is that the agents that do come in, let's just say you do all the things out there, the old way of recruiting, the companies, the cold calling, emailing, just the outreach, you're not bringing in the right agents. And what's really happening is these agents are coming in for the offer, incentives really, and they're going to leave. They're not really coming in for you and how you can help them scale, which is, one of the best ways to recruit, right? Being the expert and demonstrating that, because that's what really builds that goodwill. That's what builds that glue that holds it together. Because, look, a lot of people can recruit agents, but a lot of people can also churn them as well, right? In the end of the day, in business, it's the retention that really matters, right? Real estate brokerages or any organization where you're trying to recruit real estate agents, it could be a downline revenue share network, it could be a team or team ridge, it could be a independent brokerage. It's a compounding thing if it's done correctly, right? Of course, every single agent compounds, it becomes a network, but obviously, it only is as strong as people staying in that network, right? So, you bring in agents that are not really the best, and it's not a fun place to be in. So I want to segue this a little bit, because there is a better way. In fact, this took me a long time as well to really figure this out, because this is the way that allows you to recruit agents, by getting paid up front. Because, of course, look, I'll give you a prime example. My company, we spend over $100,000 a month on Facebook and Instagram ads. Maybe you've seen my face all over the internet. Maybe you see one of our actors or our team members. And these appointments, they cost, hundreds of dollars each just to book the appointment. Now we have let's just say, hypothetically speaking, we have a 50% show up rate. You times that cost per book appointment by 2, right? I mean, it costs hundreds of dollars for someone to come in and show up, and then we have to close them. So, if you can afford to, spend $100,000 a month and not lose money on your marketing, because, look, like, we break even on our marketing, and then we have back end offers as well. Similarly for a brokerage, right? If you're able to invest that much amount of money into your marketing, then be my guest. But I can speak for most brokerage owners that I talk to. I know we speak to hundreds and hundreds of brokerages every single month, and they all say that, they're actually bleeding money. They're not really making money. There's a lot of competition, and you have to change. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck and left behind. Because, look, one of the highest leverage activities you can do is recruit agents and attract agents. But if your system to recruit and attract them is fundamentally broken and flawed at the financial level, statistically, you are going to fail. I want to add on an example as well from Dan Kennedy. So this guy is like, he's like the godfather of marketing is what they call it, right? This guy really gave birth to a lot of the marketing industry. He helped a lot of the big marketers out there. It's a guy with a big mustache, right? A lot of the YouTubers nowadays, like even Alex Hormozy, if you guys are familiar with him, he pretty much, used a lot of Dan Kennedy stuff to build his businesses. And, I don't want to add on and just hyping up Dan Kennedy, but, there's a lot of stuff you can learn about him. But one thing I really want to, drive home is how Dan Kennedy mentioned that the only way to win in business is to outspend the competition. So let's just say you have a market, a geographical region, a market. In that market, you have a competition, right? You probably have competition. Let's just say for 3 people here, you have a team leader, and you have teams that you're competing against for the top agents. You also have a brokerage, independent brokerage or boutique, or whatever franchise. You also are now competing with other brokerages as well. More important, you're also competing against the downline folks that are trying to grow their revenue share network, right? So there's a lot of stuff that, you're a lot of competition. So you have to outspend them to win. So think about that for a second. I mean, if you are able to outspend your competition, what would that do for you? What would that do for your business? So obviously it would help your bottom line. It would help you have more gross profits to serve your agents better, in turn producing that flywheel effect of them having even more production volume stats, and then you getting paid more, and then everything just starts flourishing. And in terms of LTV as well of agents, I mean, look, it's going to help with retention, but the most important thing is your EBITDA, right? So earnings before interest, debt, taxes, amortization. Again, I don't know the exact definition off the top of my head, but in other words, it's sort of like profit. When you're trying to build a brokerage up and you're up at that 8-figure, multiple 7-figure a year profit range, you can have a nice 8-figure exit. And I've seen some people that have exited their brokerages for 8 figures or more. So it is very valuable to you. I mean, that's what you're missing out on potentially, right? You're not just missing out on, just the ability to recruit some agents. You got to think about it at a big picture level, right? From a business perspective, right? Your business valuation increases when you're able to outspend your competitors, because now you have the best agents that produce the most, that churn out the least, and in turn your brokerage production volume and ultimately your pay cut at the end of the day increases. And that's a really good place to be in as a business owner. So now let's actually pivot into the best recruiting method, because what is this method? So on my screen here, I have, something that is a 4-step process, and this 4-step process process is really a value first, attraction based recruiting funnel, right? So a funnel in marketing is a way to, just like a funnel, right? You get a lot of people on the top and you slowly bring it down all the way down. At the end is agents attracted to you. So, look, this funnel is multi-touch. And I want you to understand that one of the key foundational elements of this funnel is to reverse the recruiting process, right? So it's like you have to have a magnet and they come to you, right? You cannot go to agents anymore. They have to come to you and book themselves onto your calendar. You have to be the authority. That is a fundamental switch with this. I mean, in other words, you can call it a reverse recruiting funnel. Even if it's working for you and you are doing a lot of cold outbound to agents, here's the thing. You have to reverse that process if you really want to scale, right? Because look, if you have agents coming in, it's a funnel. Funnels are predictable and you can do something called financial modeling. You can see how many agents are opting into my funnel every single month. Out of those, how many are coming in and booking a call? Out of those calls, how many are showing up? And out of those calls that are showing up, how many am I converting and making an offer for them to partner with me and my brokerage? So you can actually now start to collapse everything down and start to see it from a bird's eye view. And as a entrepreneur, you should be able to see where the bottleneck is, well, right? So anyways, I'm going to break down the 4 steps here. And the first step is building a lead magnet advertising. So a lead magnet is what's going to get people to put their information in, particularly agents, and it has to give value to the agent. Now, I'll give you a quick shortcut. Many agents want more appointments, more leads, and all that kind of stuff. There's a reason why they pay an arm and a leg every single month to Zillow, right? So you want to go ahead and position yourself as someone that can do that, So I always give an example as lead generation companies, right? They're probably the people that speak to the most amount of agents in the entire industry, right? I mean, I had a lead generation company for the longest time. We spoke to thousands of agents every single year and never lost a single dollar on our marketing. So you want to offer something to agents, especially in your lead magnet in your marketing, that's actually going to demonstrate value. So they come to you because people move where there's an app, like they move because it's an absence of value. So if you can show that you have value, they'll come to you. That is attraction, right? That's why the fundamental element of this was people coming to you. So the lead magnet can be like an ad, and the ad is like, hey agents, look, there's a brand new way out there to fill your calendar with motivated buyers and sellers, and it's called the ABC process. If you want to learn more about this, click learn more somewhere below and watch the video and book a call. So, look, we're giving them a call to action. That's really how it works. That's how all my ads are for my company. So when they do that, they opt in and then they get added into an email marketing campaign. They get into a text marketing campaign. But really, when they click that ad, they go to a video sales letter landing page, which leads me to step 2 of this funnel, which is the video sales letter itself. So the video sales letter is a video, which can be 10 minutes to an hour long, that gives exactly how that, thing you talked about in the ad earlier in step 1 works. So, typically there's a step-by-step process. And I don't want to really get into too much about a video sales letter strategy, what to put in there. I'm happy to make a video on that. Comment down below, subscribe to the channel, of course. But if you comment, we get enough comments, I will make a video on how to make a recruiting video sales letter. But a video sales letter, really the goal is here. It's really simple, right? You want to provide so much value where the agent watching it is like, wow, that just blew my mind. And whatever they're doing, I want to work with them over there. Because in your free video sales letter, there should be so much value, because reciprocal altruism is a big thing, right? Robert Cialdini talks about in his book called Influence. So, you want to have reciprocal altruism take place. And if you give a lot of value in your free training, people will be like, wow, that was actually very transformational. That gave me a whole paradigm shift that really, elevated my worldview on how this is done, how to grow my real estate business. And I want to work with that person, whoever get that training. That's a video sales letter in its purest form. A video sales letter should be on a slide deck. So Google slide deck. I always recommend making it on Canva after. It can be nice and pretty. You record yourself going over it with the screen recording software, ideally a mic and a 4K camera, because, having some status is very, very important. You want to position yourself as someone of status. And when that happens, people watch it. And at the end of the video sales letter, you say, look, guys, if you're interested, please book a call to learn more about our offering, right? And that is the fundamental step that allows people to now come to you and book themselves on your calendar. So step number 3 is going to be now the actual marketing process. So you want to have the funnel made out like on ClickFunnels or a landing page builder. And then you also want to go ahead and have your technology stack as well, and automations and workflows. So I'm going to read off my screen here because this is exactly what, we get our clients to do. So you want to get that video sales letter recorded, you put it on a landing page. Then you want to have an application form. Just like if you apply for my company to work with us, we'll get you to fill out an application form. So we ask like, what's your name? Where are you from? How many deals are you doing per month right now? Where do you want to get to? What's your biggest bottleneck in your real estate business? You want to ask about them before the call as well, because then you can actually disqualify agents that are not a good fit, right? Because maybe you don't want to have brand new agents in your brokerage team or downline, right? So you can actually disqualify people. And that's a great thing about the application funnel. It's also a great way to get some information about them before the call, so the call seems more personalized. That allows you to have a higher conversion rate into your brokerage because they're going to feel like, wow, this person really knows about me. But you want to have the application, then you want to have the booking page. I recommend using Calendly, which is a simple software for calendar booking. So they can book their call on the calendar. And then once they book a call, it should be redirected to what I call a thank you page. Now, if you don't want to do that, simply just redirect them to a YouTube channel where you post content with you interviewing your top agents, you giving a lot of value on how to grow your real estate business. The main thing is this: we are in a trust recession right now, and you want to make sure that before an agent comes and works with you, you want to give so much value where they're like, wow, this person just gave everything, gave away the whole farm before I even joined their brokerage. So you want to have that, right? And a lot of brokerages aren't even doing this. Doing that alone will put you in a category of one. If you guys want me to make a recruiting funnel breakdown as well for a top real estate client of mine, I will go ahead and make a video if you guys leave a comment down below and comment the word recruiting funnel. So anyways, back to the video. The next step is once they book a call, you want to have an automation where if an appointment gets booked, they get an email workflow, and the email workflow is then sending them, interviews with you interviewing your top agents, probably in a podcast format, you giving value, you giving emails. I would even recommend, if you're a little bit more savvy like me, I mean, our team helps out our clients all the time with this, is when someone books a call, you have something called a retargeting sequence, where now once they book a call, the days leading up to the call, they're just getting hammered, absolutely hammered by content on why your brokerage is so superior and better. And just having that content alone will put you in, a category of one again, right? But also, I do recommend as well in your calendar settings, once they are booked, right, having like sort of the time frame should be less. Like it shouldn't be like 5 days out, because show up rates are going to go, of course, down from that. The next thing is sending the emails as well. So like, look, you're getting people booking with you, but there are also going to be people that don't book with you, because remember I mentioned like people opt in. So you want to send them daily content and emails. You want to send them text blasts. You can also have an appointment setter or an ISA calling up all those agents. So now it puts you in a very good place, because now the agents are coming to you, they've opted in, they're seeing all your retargeting ads, they're seeing your content, probably on your YouTube channel, you're having appointment setter calling them, you're also retargeting them. It's a perfect place to be, and most importantly, you're compliant because they opted in to your funnel, right? So this allows you to be in a really good spot, especially from recruiting agents, right? Now, the next thing is people confirm the call the day of. So like, hey, just confirming you have a call. By the way, watch this video as well. Typically, you want to get them to watch your video sales letter. So that is really what I recommend for most people. And that alone, that marketing funnel, that tech stack will allow you to have agents coming into your calendar that are interested in working with you because they've been so pre-framed before the call actually took place. So that is, like just the first 3 steps. Now, the last step is the actual one-on-one call. So agents come to your call, and obviously this is a sales call, right? Of course, because like we're selling a product, which is our brokerage, right? Like in the end of the day, we are all selling, and you got to understand that there's a certain cadence you want to have for this, right? And if you can map out a cadence that is predictable, scalable, repeatable, you don't even have to take these calls, right? You don't even have to take these appointments to recruit agents, right? So anyways, look, on this one-on-one call, right? The main thing is this, right? You want to do it in person if you can, because it does help a little bit. But you can also do them on Zoom too. It just depends upon the volume of agents you're bringing in. I have agents that are spending over $100,000 a month on their recruiting funnels. So again, it just depends upon what level you want to take this to. But the one-on-one call is you want to focus on their goals, not just your pitch, right? So you want to focus on where you're at, where do you want to get to, what's holding you back. That's typically the discovery phase of the call. So you want to say, like, if someone comes to your call, it's like, hey, great to meet you. How's your weekend going? How's your week going? Whatever it is, whatever day you're at. You want to build some rapport, first minute or two, then you want to get into discovery, right? But the first question I like to ask is like, okay, so tell me, what's like your dream outcome as a real estate agent, right? And once they tell you this dream outcome, be like, okay, well, what do you think is holding you back? Like, oh, I'm not doing this, and then you can be like, was your current company helping you with that? No, okay, great. And then after you get that questions out of the way, go to discovery, then you want to talk about how your specific vehicle, your brokerage, or your team, or your revenue share network can help them get to that and help get to that end state or goal and help them realize that vision. So this is actually called the pitch, right? The sales pitch. So, typically it's a series of steps you take them through. Like, oh, step 1, we're going to get you onboarded with their agent. Then we're going to assign you a success coach. Then we're going to give you a mentor. Then we're going to give you our insurance policies. We're going to give you our in-house lead gen program. We'll give you this and that and this and that, all that kind of stuff, right? So you want to make it sound nice. And at the end, you always want to say, okay, great. Where do you want to go from here? That's like always like, the call to action. Like, where do you want to go? Like, oh, I want to work with you guys. And then you can get them onboarded. That's it, right? That's like how you recruit agents, right? Now, if they're not interested right away because they want to think about it, that's fine. Like, hey, I'm just curious, what do you want to think about? I just want to make sure I answer all your questions. They give you the answer. If you just want to think about it, you could book a follow-up call. So, look, like I also recommend as well, if you're like independent brokerage in this case, or you're even though you're franchise or boutique and you're allowed to do this, but charge a fee of like $500 to offset the cost of marketing. You can call it an onboarding fee, and it also allows you just to have a lot more profits to keep reinvesting into marketing. Because look, you can have the machine working once, but if it's just bleeding money every single month, it's not even, it's not a fun place to be in, right? So you want to make sure that it funds itself, right? So it's like, I call it like a self-sustaining reverse recruiting funnel, right? That's it. Now, if you are in the downline game, you can't run ads towards your downline or revenue share network, right? It's actually against your ICA. So, the only bypass for this, I made a lot of videos on our YouTube channel, is to sell an online course or digital product, provide value, and then recruit and make an offer for them to join your downline after. That's what I recommend. Now, sometimes agents at EXP can be like, hey, look, if you join my downline, give it to you for free or a discount. You can also do that as well. It just depends on what you are trying to do and what your brokerage allows, but that's the system, right? So those 4 steps, look, you set all this up in the 4 steps. It'll allow you to pack your calendar. You'll become the top, recruiter attractor. We work with some of the top attractors in the country at their brokerages. So, they use the exact same system. I would recommend now a couple bonus things I would recommend to really spice it up. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about that right now. So here's the thing. If you are running these ads, you're running this recruiting funnel, if you want to really spice it up, you want to have someone helping you out with your personal brand or your YouTube channel, preferably, and your YouTube channel. Like, your personal brand is going to grow as a byproduct of growing your email list where agents are opting in. You can send them to follow your personal brand on Instagram and YouTube, but I would post content, short form content and long form content, helping out agents. It can't be crap content. It has to be good, and it should ideally be edited with, very high quality, and you could send people over there, right? And, you could share wins, you could share team culture, share interviews with agents, which are extremely high leverage. I've seen from my own clients as well. Zoom interviews work just fine as well. I use a software called Opus Clip. You can also have an editor doing a short form content. If you're like the trainer and you're training agents there, your broker, have you doing like role plays with agents to record that. It just helps make the funnel produce even better because it builds that trust in there. But the key is consistency. That's one thing I would recommend to really spice it up. The next thing I would also do is automating outbound. So you can do outbound, you're probably already doing it, but like email marketing, LinkedIn automation, Instagram reels with a VA, pretty much following all the agents that like your Instagram reel and sending them a DM. You can also go ahead and have a pixel. So if you're doing a lot of outbound, you can pixel and retarget people. That's a more advanced strategy, but we do go ahead and set that up for our clients inside of our own program. And I just recommend driving people to the offer, which is like how you're going to help them, and not the brokerage, is going to be very, very important. So I always recommend like I talked about earlier in this video about a video sales letter. You should be talking to in your video sales about how they can go ahead and grow their business, right? You're not going to talk about your brokerage and all the features and feature dump. You want to talk to them about a legitimate training on how they can grow their real estate business, and that's what you always want to market. So even if you're doing outbound marketing, right, and you're doing cold email, even cold calling, you want to go ahead from a place of value, like, hey, we just made a free training. Are you open to hearing it, right? Are you open to viewing it? So that is much better than sounding like every other brokerage or recruiter out there. That's just the second thing I recommend. The third thing is hosting online events or webinars. So of course you can have a big email list, and I always recommend doing a Zoom webinar once a month. Usually by the middle of the month, you send a bunch of emails, text blasts. You can have appointments that are calling up all the agents, booking them in. You could do it on Zoom webinars. You also have retargeting ads, and you do a presentation. So one of the presentations that one of my clients did is how to close 20 deals a year with 0 ad spend, right? So this is something that they did. They talked about, they basically gave a video sales letter presentation live, and they said, look, if you want to work with us and get access to everything, just book a call with our recruiter and we'll walk you through everything, and we'll see if it's the right fit for you to work with our company. So that's what they did. It really helps a lot. I've seen it just do tremendous things, right? So I've also seen as well some of my people that recruit for their downlines, they will go ahead and record videos, and they'll go ahead and talk about how EXP can help them, or how Real Broker can help them, or LPT, right, or Realty of America. So they have all these brokerages and Epic Realty, and they'll do like a webinar, which usually is like brokerage approved, and they'll give like a little presentation on how that works. At the end of the day, you own the audience because you paid for it. In fact, they sort of paid you to be on their email list, which is a really good place to be in, and allows you to always consistently be on top of the marketing game. So as we're getting to the end of the video, what I really want to talk about is why this works so well. So first thing is, it is actually value driven, and as I mentioned earlier, Robert Cialdini's book Influence talked about reciprocal altruism, and that's what you want in your recruiting process, right? In the end of the day, you are marketing, right? And marketing, if you provide value, education-based marketing, value-based marketing, people will go ahead and pay you back, right? Typically, they'll pay you back by joining your team, your downline, your brokerage, right? So you want to make sure you give value in your marketing. You don't just pitch all day, because that's not a good place to be. begin, right? In fact, in marketing, it's a rule that says only 3% of people are ready to buy. So if you are actually going ahead on just making offer to 3%, those 3% of agents are being pitched by every single brokerage out there and every single downline attractor and every single team leader. I mean, they're getting their phone blow up. In fact, you might be getting it right now. So you have to choose a contrarian strategy, a better strategy out there that targets the 97% of people because it's a bigger pie. The second reason why this works so well is because it builds trust and agents feel heard. They don't feel like they're just being sold to all day. My favorite benefit is that it's scalable because you are not actually losing money now on your marketing for agents and recruiting, right? Like you're actually getting paid to attract. That is something I will always preach on this channel, getting paid to attract, because I know how expensive marketing can get. In fact, it's only been getting more and more expensive. Look at Facebook CPM, which is cost per 1,000 impressions, meaning to get your ad in front of 1,000 people, it's been going up every single year. It's only going to keep going up as well with inflation. You have to make sure that you get paid in your marketing process. Maybe back in 2012, you wouldn't lose money because it was probably cents on the dollar to market. Now it's very, very expensive. It's like $50 or more to target 1,000 agents. So again, if you want to make sure you get an inbound agent attraction calls or recruiting appointments, you have to make sure you're getting paid. It can be either be an onboarding fee or selling an online course. It doesn't matter, but it's something I've always seen to work. Now, look, you don't have to go ahead and do that, but if you do that, it is extremely scalable because you put that profit right back in and you'll still have profit left in the end of the day. The main reason why this works so well is because economically you win every single time. And it is the only way to really outspend your competition on marketing. That's the only way to win in business as well, according to Dan Kennedy. The key is very simple. You want to make sure that you are different from everyone else. People are always going to ask you, how are you different? What do you do that is significantly different from everyone else, right? You're always going to be asked that question. Agents are always, like looking to get the best offer, right? Everyone is always intrinsically motivated to have the best vehicle. So they're always going to ask you, how are you different? What do you do? So this is where you always want to make sure that your recruiting strategy and your attraction strategy is significantly different from everyone else. If I told you that, oh yeah, you guys just do what everyone else is doing out there, these traditional recruiting companies, I would be lying to you, right? So I want to make sure you understand this is the only way to really win in the recruiting game. So if you found this video helpful, I have a lot more videos coming, and all I ask is this: we only grow by word of mouth. So if you could just like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe, and comment down below what you actually resonated with. That would mean the world to me. Now, if you need help implementing these strategies on how to grow your agent count and your real estate brokerage, your team, your downline, whatever it is, we have a series of solutions to help you out. If you are interested, click somewhere below the video. There's a learn more. There's a link in there. Go ahead and watch our video sales letter. See if it actually is a fit for you. See how we help out people. When it comes to the brokerage side of things and helping independent brokerages recruit, or even boutique brokerages and franchises, we have what we call a self-sustaining reverse recruiting funnel that allows you to, get agents coming in and use a variety of methods to get your calendars packed with agents. And then optionally, you can sell a digital product like our downline clients. You don't have to, but if you were a downline agent attractor or a revenue share person and you're just trying to grow your revenue share network with hungry motivated agents, the only bypass for you that's actually legally compliant is to sell an online course or digital product. And that has this whole series of benefits, a lot of videos on that as well. So if you're interested, click learn more below and watch our videos on our whole processes, understand our thesis, look at our case studies, and we'll see you guys on the other side.